Mobi, in my opinion, is one of the best tools out there. It has taken away an instructor being tied to the front of a classroom. It allows an instructor to be involved with their students, walking around the classroom, in discussion with students. The biggest piece of it is the functionality. You know, you are never tied to that computer. You're never tied to having to go use the keyboard. You can do it all with the Mobi. You can be in the back of the classroom and you can do anything you need to with that computer.
The biggest benefits of the Mobi that I have found is the ability, number one, to move around the classroom and still control what's going on visually for the student. Whether it's visual, audio, video, it doesn't matter, but we have the ability to really move around and control that. I also, some of the other functions that I really like is the ability to stop and do a whiteboard effect, not only on the slides that I'm working with, but if I want to white it out and really have discussion formats on a whiteboard, I can still move around and not be anchored to a specific location. From a student's perspective, what I like about the Mobi is the ability, I can see what they're thinking through their actions on the Mobi. It's no longer about, well, I kind of do it this way. Okay, and what you want to do in a classroom, well, tell me more about it, and they really can't. They start, you know, that basic response of where's a pen and so let me draw it for you. Well, now, show me. You know, and right now we can sit there and look and not only pick up maybe some deficiencies in what they're doing, but also reinforce their correct thinking and go, you're absolutely right. And maybe it's something that you didn't even consider before, so now you're learning as well from their perspective.
The functionality of the Mobi is huge. I think that, you know, any classroom that does not have one is failing themselves.
I think primarily I see the biggest benefits from CPS as an opportunity to really bring home a problem-solving process to our recruits, which we've identified as probably the single most important competency. And utilizing these tools allows us a lot more flexibility in subject matter content delivery to test not only our ability to effectively deliver information, but to immediately assess the student's understanding of what's going on and address it right there, rather than waiting for a written test to come up and then find out they really didn't get it.
The thing I like most about using CPS is the interaction of students, the feedback that you can pull from CPS, the reports you can pull. I think the best portion of it is the immediate feedback, letting students know how they've done, where they stand, and what they need to work on. CPS testing mode is an awesome tool. The immediate feedback, students can take a test. Once the test is complete, I simply generate a report. They can look up at student name or student ID, and they'll know how they did on those tests, percentage-wise. They'll know what questions they missed. The CPS also allows us to generate study guides to guide them into correcting the questions or understanding the questions they missed. I think the benefit to the Army is getting away from the PowerPoint, which has become the norm. Death by PowerPoint is the common phrase that is heard. Once the students get into the scenario of the CPS or of the game, it's a great time for an instructor to step in and say, okay, let's talk about that scenario. Let's talk about the situation we just encountered. And let's think through better ways of going through the process. with these games.
It's been really good as a student, I think, for sitting in here when we sit in the classroom and you're much more involved. Typically, I've had other classes before at college that they just talk, and you come in, you sit, you listen, hopefully, and you leave. And with this, there's almost never any kind of a class that you're just sitting there listening. There's always some kind of an involvement, whether it's directly to the instructor or to my peers. The questions kind of really bring it together. There's a lot of times they put together questions that kind of make you think. It's also kind of really nice when we work with our partners, because every once in a while you might be kind of stuck. And usually between the two of us bouncing something back off of each other, we kind of come up with an answer and takes the pressure off a little bit, and then it brings it out and you kind of understand a different viewpoint.
By utilizing the CPS, I've seen one student go from a low 50s to a high 80s, simply from the CPS. It truly comes down to engagement. It comes down to the enthusiasm that you can pull from a student. If students are bored in the classroom, they'll find other things to do with their time. If you can get them engaged and get them involved in the class, they enjoy coming back.
What I find most appealing is that through interactive learning and the ability to see what they know up front and what areas to truly focus on for their successes, it now gives us time in areas of maybe we don't have to spend in the classroom anymore. It will enhance our ability to deliver content material quicker, but expand into areas to where maybe we're improving on knowledge that they already have that's not even covered in the development of a post-curriculum. So it's just a great opportunity.
CPS and Mobi, it's the wave of the future. It's good stuff.